I'm Liz Graciela, and your Skyline Scoop starts right now. Good morning, Raiders. It's Monday, the beginning of the week, which means we have one more week until spring break. So we're almost there. Now let's begin with a few reminders. Applications for Student Senate will be taken until March 31st, but you must email skyline.senate@gmail if you wish to receive the application. And the Skyline GSA meeting is on Wednesday, so don't forget. Now attention class 2021, students interested in enrolling in co-op for the 2021 school year. Here's the QR code to sign up, and for more information, find Mrs. Johnson in F14G or Mrs. Carter in G66. Senate is collecting new and gently used books for children. They're looking for reading levels pre-K to middle school level. Please bring your donations to G53A. And the Art Incentive is sponsored by the Cedar Union. They'll be hosting a free one-week art course for incoming juniors and seniors from Dallas ISD from June 8th to the 12th. Interested students can see Mrs. Cross in G27 for more information for signing up. And hurry because space is limited and applications are due April 11th. The culinary team competed in the Ben E. Keith Culinary Cup at the 2020 Food and Fashion. They made a mayo man with some shrimp and grits. This amazing artwork is in the display of the Raider Cafe. Please go check it out. It's Women's History Month. Let's take a look with one of the greatest women in history. Now take it over, Macy, with today's weather.
Good morning, Skyline Raiders. I'm Macy here with your weather for today. Monday, March 9th. It's a rainy day with a high of 73 and a low of 60. And tomorrow's going to be a sunny day with a high of 80 and a low of 66. That's all we have for today, Raiders. Check your nice time from Weather with Macy.
Let's see who's reporting today's lunch.
For Monday, we will be having green chili chicken tamales with a steak of shredded cheese, PB&J Smart Box, and jicama sticks, steamed carrots, peaches, and frozen fruit cup treats.
Here's your A segment.
Do you know about the woman who saved the American space program? How about the woman who helped advance the treatment of leprosy? Can you name the first American woman to receive a PhD in chemistry? Their accomplishments were nearly lost to history, but now Reaction celebrates some of the great unsung women of chemistry. In 1957, the Soviet Union launched the first Earth-orbiting satellite, Sputnik. When the first pings of that satellite were heard in the U.S., scientists went into overdrive. At the time, most American rockets were still exploding at the launch pad. And if they made it into air, they didn't have enough power to get into orbit. The answer to our power problem was better fuel, and that's exactly where Mary Sherman Morgan comes in. Mary worked at North American Aviation, the company tasked with finding a better rocket fuel. She was the only woman out of 900 scientists working at North American Aviation, and the only one without a college degree. Mary and her team developed a new propellant cocktail called Hydyne to power the Army's Jupiter C rocket, which was developed by a much more famous Wernher von Braun. On January 31st, 1958, Jupiter C, with the help of Hydyne, delivered America's first satellite to space. Dubbed Explorer 1, the satellite's successful launch was the boost the American space program needed. Without Mary, the U.S. would have continued to trail behind the USSR in the space race. Mary's work was top secret, and she kept it that way. She was also fiercely private, and her accomplishments were lost among a litany of other amazing space achievements since. When she died, her son George sat down with some of her former North American aviation colleagues. One leaned over and said, "Your mom single-handedly saved the American space program, and nobody knows it but a handful of old men." Decades before Mary Sherman Morgan was working at the chemist bench, Alice Ball was working on a better treatment for a very old disease, leprosy. In 1873, we learned, thanks to Dr. Jared Hansen, that leprosy was caused by a bacteria. We knew the cause, and now we needed a better treatment. At the time, the best treatment for leprosy were injections of chamungra oil, but the results were spotty, the side effects were unpleasant, and the injections were painful. Despite all of this, scientists and physicians kept coming back to this nut oil. Something in it seemed to help patients. But what was it? That's where Alice comes in. Alice was a whiz at natural products chemistry, just the kind of work that was needed on chamungra nut oil. By early 1916, she'd cracked it. She developed a process to isolate active constituents in chamungra nut oil. These were fatty acids in the form of ethyl esters. Injection of these esters provided a more effective relief of leprosy symptoms with considerably less pain and discomfort than shots of the straight oil. The new treatment was used for decades afterwards. Sadly, 1916 would also see the end of Alice's all too brief career in chemistry. On New Year's Eve, at just 24 years old, Alice died. She never got to see the impact of her work on the treatment of leprosy. And for a long time, Alice never got credit. After her death, another chemist at the college continued her project, but published without any mention of Alice or her previous work. It was decades before the extent of Alice's contributions were recognized. Almost 90 years after her death, Alice Ball was awarded the University of Hawaii Regents Medal of Distinction. Finally, I want to recognize an exceptional woman from my alma mater, the University of Nebraska-Lincoln. Rachel Lloyd was a woman of firsts. In 1881, she was the first woman to publish research in a major American chemistry journal. In 1887, she was the first American and the second woman in the entire world to receive a PhD in chemistry. That same year, Dr. Lloyd became the first female professor at a co-ed institution, UNL. Not everyone was thrilled to have her there. Just a year after her arrival, Dr. Lloyd survived an attempt by the chancellor to get rid of her, allegedly because of her Quaker religion. But UNL faculty supported Dr. Lloyd with a vote of confidence. Months later, the chancellor was gone and Dr. Lloyd was promoted to full professor. At UNL, Dr. Lloyd's research helped sugar beets become a major Nebraska crop and made sugar production a viable industry in the state. Today, Nebraska is sixth in the nation for sugar beet production, an industry that brings in millions to the state economy. You'd think Dr. Lloyd's life story and professional achievements would be better known, but details were nearly lost to history. Thankfully, due to a time capsule unearthed at UNL last year, we know more about Dr. Lloyd's pioneering work. We need pioneers like Mary Sherman Morgan, Alice Ball, and Dr. Rachel Lloyd. Explorers with grit and determination, though these three didn't always get the glory.
That's all for today, Raiders. Follow us at Skynet Broadcasting on the gram. To stay updated with school news, see behind the scenes of Skynet, and to catch your daily scoop, make sure to log on to skynetbroadcasting.org. I'm Liz Graciela, and with everyone that brings Skynet News, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.